Hi everybody, welcome to your mat, to your practice for today. Today we're going to be doing some supported back bending poses. Abhi and Pune from the Institute, from our source, have been saying it's really not a time, with considering everything we're going through, it's not a time to be doing really intense pushing ourselves practice. We need to be taking care. I think I mentioned this right at the beginning of lockdown. I'm just repeating it. So if your inclination is wanting to do some back bends, this would be a good back bend class to set up for yourself. It will be supported, certainly when it gets to the more intense part of it. So come and sit, take a support. I've taken a brick for today, and bring your legs into Viparita. Calf muscles long, release the flesh underneath the knees, and take your fingers to the little toe side of the foot and press the little toe side of your foot down, so that from little toe to big toes equally resting into the floor. Hook your thumbs into the inner heel and pull your inner heels as if biomechanically up to the ceiling, and then wrap your fingers around the outer ankle and move the outer ankle away from your fingers, and keep that circular flow flowing up from the inner heel up and out, and the outer ankle moving in. See how that transfers through to the inner thighs and the inner knees. Move the inner knees up and away so that you come onto the center of the shin bone. And check which leg responds more easily. Bring your palms into Atmanjali Mudra. Settle for a moment the gaze of your eyes onto the horizon line. Ease the back of the neck up off the top of the shoulders. Ease the base of the skull up off the top of the spine. And then soften the eyes to that space between the base of the skull and the top of the spine, that occiput area, the Ananda or bliss brain. And then let your eyes soften and close. Press the tongue into the floor of the mouth. Soften, open the inner walls of the throat, so that the throat becomes broad, long, tubular, allowing the free flow of the breath and the prana that rides on and in the breath to flow throughout this pose of Viparita. Feel how, as the breath settles, the mind becomes quiet. As the mind becomes quiet and settles, so in turn it allows the breath to become smooth and steady. Allowing the gentle resonance internally of all. That sound of the universe. Complete the breath you're on. Bow your head to your heart. Make your own inner acknowledgements. Setting up your sankalp, your intention for practice today, to be a sense of non-striving, non-judgment of your poses as you go into them with a sense of positivity. Yes, we're going to work at it, but not push. not become aggressive. Press the back of your hands onto your thighs. Raise your head. Open your eyes and extend your legs away from you into dandasana. Have your feet apart for the moment and stretch your legs away from you. And then from there, come standing up and have your feet hip width. Sumo, go and sit. Sorry. Extending the arms forward, bring your left index finger on top of the right to interlock your fingers, invert the palms away from you, and now drawing your upper arms into the shoulder socket. So you retract as you extend the inner arms away from you. Dome your palms and take your arms up and over your head. Baranguliasana in Tadasana. From there, extend upwards through the inner upper arms. Lock your elbows and pressing into your left foot, ease up and over to the right. So from your altar, left hip, press down. From your left side waist, ease all the way to the tip of the fingers. But without collapsing into these right side ribs, stretch the right side ribs a little further and arch further. And breathe. Let the breath become fuller, deeper. Inhale and come up. Lift up once more, back ribs, side ribs, front ribs. Pressing into that outer right foot, ease over to the left. All those actions in Tadasana, the drawing of the thighs, the knees upwards, as you press the heels down. Lengthen that left side of the trunk and breathe a little more into the right side ribs. Release your arms. I'm going to turn to the side. You're still standing with your feet apart. Same interlock, left index finger over the right. Roll the shoulders back. That spreading of the collarbones that we did in the previous class. That digging of the dorsal into the back. Squeeze those inner lower shoulder blades towards each other. Roll the shoulders back. Keeping the legs in Tadasana. Fold forwards. Now lengthen the front body forwards. Make the front spine long as you pull the hands, the shoulders back. And in that length of the front of the spine, come all the way forwards and down. Cup your palms, lift your shoulders up as you broaden your collarbones, and then take your arms up and over your head. Long front body. Keep the space to breathe. Pull your hands back to come up once more. And from there, come and stand. Your feet still apart and stretch your arms away from you. Reach into the tip of the fingers. So the shoulders roll back, but from the elbows, roll in. We spoke in detail about this in the last class. And as much as you reach into the tip of the fingers, retract those upper arms into the shoulder socket. So there's space here, but not a sense of disconnect. And then from there, keeping that stretch the arms down to the side. Pulling the little finger down to the floor to fully open your elbow joint. From there, come forwards. Now bring your right index finger on top of the left. Interlock the fingers, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Baranguliasana. From there, press that left foot into the floor a little more, lengthen these right side ribs, and fold over to the right. Breathe into those left side ribs a little more, open the chest. Lengthen the right side ribs a little more and go a little further. Breathe. Sometimes that exhale can be a little sharper to take you further. Inhale, come up. Remember, a sense of doing your poses without over-striving. Drop that sense of aggression in the practice. So yes, we're moving, we're extending, we're going further, but it's a sense of non-judgment. Breathe. Stand into that outer right foot. Lengthen your left side ribs. Go a little further. Open that right lung. And come up. Once more, I'm going to turn. You stay as you are. Bring your right index finger over the left. Feet still parallel. Roll the shoulders back. And from there, pulling your shoulders back, your hands back, lengthen the front body as if you're going forwards. Once you've got that established front spine long, now you can come down. Stand the heels into the floor. Stand the balls of the feet, big toe, little toe into the floor. Ta-da, sun legs, lift the thighs. So from the stability of the legs, allow the trunk to go way and down. And now take your arms up and over. Warming up the shoulders, warming up the upper back. Bringing flexibility to the spine. Pull the shoulders, the arms back. Stretch forward, come up. Feet still apart. Extend your arms away from you. Create space in the joints. Fingers, hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders. Still with a sense of connect. And from there, stretch the arms down to the floor. Extend into the fingertips. Fully open your elbow joints. Shoulders broadly down the back body. And from there, release, let go, and come forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. So sitting back onto the heels, knees apart, spread your palms, inner upper arms externally rotate, forearms internally rotate. Lengthen the sternum as you draw the outer hips back. Ease the inner groins down. Abdomen into its rightful position. So you've set up the trunk. Tuck your toes under, and from there come into Adho Mukha Svangasana. Stand the feet and the hands deep into the earth. Lift firmly through your legs, your arms, and extend through the trunk. Lift the base of your sternum to your pubic plate. Lengthen your upper buttocks up and away. Now, bring the tail as if you're curling it into the body. And broadly take the abdomen back to the spine. As if you move these frontal hip tops towards your lower front ribs. Your lower front ribs connect to the frontal hip top, so the abdomen moves back. Maintaining that, come forwards into Palakasana. Shoulders away from the ears. So that same connection, frontal hip tops to the lower front ribs. Lower front ribs to the frontal hip tops. Maintaining that, roll or step over your toes. Keep looking forward for the moment. Urdhva Mukha Svangasana. So again, get that connection as you move your frontal hip tops to the lower front ribs, and the abdomen can move back. So if it softens away from the pubic plate. Inhale, lift your hips, roll or step over the toes, Adho Mukha Svangasana. So this connection allows this area to spread and open from a healthy space, keeping a sense of integrity in that lower back area. So bring the tail into the body, like you've got a long curly tail and you're tucking it in. Come forwards. Palakasana. Shoulders away from the ears. Dorsal into the back without collapsing there. And from there, roll over the toes. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Now, as you roll the shoulders back, can you look a little higher? Inner walls of the throat soft and open. Abdomen broadly back. Inhale, lift the hips. Rolling back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pump open the armpits as you roll the shoulders back. And we're going to do 3 more of those, a little faster. Inhale, Palakasana. Exhale, roll over the toes. Now look up and back, as if you're going to look over your eyebrows. Inhale, lift the hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, roll over the toes. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lift the hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 2 more. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hips. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From there, come forwards, Palakasana. Tuck your elbows in and come and lie on your abdomen, stretching your legs back. And from here, bring your left forearm under your shoulders, reach your right arm back and take hold of your right inner foot. Press into that inner foot. Now, if this is as far as you go, so be it. But lengthen the upper buttocks, bring that middle buttocks, the tailbone deep into the body, and broadly take these upper hip tops to your lower front ribs. So the abdomen remains moving back. And then if you can, bring this leg down into Ekapada Bekasana. So tuck that tail in, middle buttocks in. Press down into your left forearm to lift the sternum and bring that dorsal spine into the back. Ekapada, 1 foot in frog pose. Press your outer right hip down to the floor. Spiral that right hip into the medial plane. From there, release, and let's do the other leg. Reach the left shoulder back, so tucking that right inner shoulder blade into the back. Bring that dorsal in, press down on your left forearm to lift your sternum. Now press into your left foot. If this is as far as you can reach, that's fine. Otherwise, see if you can tuck this foot in some. But press your outer left hip down to the floor. Spiral your left hip to the medial plane. Abdomen back. Breathe. Press your inner left knee down to the floor. Outer left hip. Bring it down. And then release. Let go. Bring your hands back. Tuck your toes under Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lengthen that upper back, lower back. And from there, come and rest. Adho Mukha Virasana. Lengthen the upper buttocks, spread the sacrum. Let that tail curl into the body, abdomen broadly back. Feel how in this pose, the abdomen can really find its rightful position. We want to keep it there. And from there, come up. Take your support for Supta Virasana. I am going to use for today a brick on its horizontal and a brick lengthwise. So I've got a setup like that. For those of you that need to go a little higher, in other words, you need to sit your buttocks onto a support. If you're taking a support there, please take the same support here as you do there. Okay? So that you prop yourself up accordingly with each setup. So come and sit, knees together. Iron those calf muscles long and back. Only when they're long do you then take your hands out. So you take the calf muscles away. And then from there, adjust thighs, outer thighs down, inner thighs down. Release the flesh underneath the knee. Come and sit for a moment. So just like we were sitting at the beginning of the class, I said, hook your thumb into the inner heel. Lift it up and out to bring this outer ankle in. Then press down a little more into the lower shin, the front of the ankle, and feel how that will adjust subtly your knees for you. And from there, come lying back, be on your elbows for a moment, take your hands to your buttocks and move your upper buttocks away from the back waist. So physically shift the upper buttocks down to the back of the knees. So this is the action we were doing earlier on. Upper buttocks long, middle buttocks move into the body as the front thighs move to the back thighs. Come and settle your shoulder blades onto those bricks. Back of the head onto the lengthwise brick. From there, just zoom in, come out of the way. Please, come. There you go. Okay. That same awareness that we spoke of at the beginning of the class, this lifting of the frontal hip tops towards the lower front ribs. The lower front ribs as if they can connect like little elastics that you've got here, up and down. So it works energetically both ways. If you need to, readjust the upper buttocks. Pressing your hands down, lift your back ribs a little more to the shoulders, but move your shoulders down the back body. Now take your arms up and over your head. Fortuitously, I'm right at the wall. You can press your fingers into the wall and feel how you can lengthen the inner thighs through the inner knees. Compact your outer hips, front hips to lower ribs so the abdomen sinks back, and then fold your elbows up and over your head. Supta. Supta means supine. Virasa. Back of the neck long and soft, shoulders quiet. Now use the breath. Deepen and lengthen your inhalation up the front of the back body. Pause at the shoulders. Long, equally slow exhalation down the back body towards the buttocks. Pause. And then maybe have a few normal breaths. When you are ready, once more, slow, deep inhale up the front of the back body. Pause, soften the abdomen, soften the lower front ribs, that thoracic diaphragm, broadly down the back body. Pause. If you can continue with that steady, smooth flow of subtle ujjayi breaths, do so. If you need a few interim breaths to relax, to come back to center, then do so. But feel almost intuitively as if every now and then, it's like that deeper breath needs to fill the pose. Every now and then, just check in, pressing the front of the ankles, the lower shins down. Coiling the buttocks into the body, the tailbone and the buttocks into the body to lengthen those inner thighs. Long thigh muscles. Complete the breath you're on. Stretch your arms away from you. Backwards to fingertips. Shoulders to buttocks. And fold your arms the other way. Check in where the little habitual tensions start to creep in as you hold the pose. And take the exhalation to those tense places and just breathe it out. Soften, let go, surrender. That's where the changes start to take place in our yoga sadhana. When we maintain, when we let go the tightness, the grips, so that we come into effortless effort in our practice. Abdomen softly, broadly back at all times. As you inhale, as you exhale. From there, reach your arms away from you. Bring your arms down to the side of the trunk. Press down into your heels. Now, from where that brick was, in between your shoulder blades, come up. So the head almost comes up last. Part your knees and come forward onto all fours. Just be here for a moment. And then from there, tuck your right toes under, extend the heel away from you. Squeeze the right knee laterally, from outside in, inside out. And then extend the left leg. Give time for the knee to open. Wonderful way to let this new life, this new blood gush into the knee joint. And if needs be, you can even just around your support come into a brief Adho Mukha Svanasana. But once more, squeeze the knees laterally. So you've lifted all four sets of thigh muscles. You've lifted the knees and now just squeeze them from side to side. And from there, release. If you have two bolsters, that would be a bonus. I only have one. So take your, I've got 4 foams and I'm going to take 4 foams to create a bolster. Got to set up like that. For Setu, bandha, sarvangasana on the cross bolsters. And then I've taken the top bolster, putting it lengthwise, mid across that, and then take a blanket. If you're not on your sticky mat, then it's fine, but I need a blanket to slide onto for Setu, bandha, sarvangasana, bridge pose. Come and sit onto the one side of your bolster and lie right along your bolster for a moment. Then from there, slowly, slowly, slide yourself down your bolster so that you broaden the collarbones. You roll the shoulders as if underneath you, keeping the legs bent. Grip the bolster, this cross bolster, and tuck your shoulders further underneath you. See if you can so far tuck your shoulders underneath you. It's like you roll onto your collarbones and your shoulder blades want to lift as if vertically upwards. Then stretch your legs away from you. If this is not possible, just for today, keep your legs bent, or you can even set up a support. You can set up bricks so that your heels are as high as the bolster. But once more, get that length to the upper buttocks, bringing the middle buttocks, the tailbone into the body. Draw these hip tops to the lower front ribs, but subtly keep that connection, lower front ribs to hip tops. So the abdomen rests away as if from the skin fiber, as if from your t-shirt, as if from the pubic bone. Back of the neck long and soft. Stretch fully through the heels. Keep your legs active. Back of the neck soft and long. Inner walls of the throat broad, long, open. Soft, so that the breath can flow. Keep coming back to that circular flow of the breath. Broadly up the front to the back body. Broadly down the back of the back body. And pausing. The end of the inhale before you exhale. Pausing before the next breath at the end of your exhale. So breath awareness. These poses allow for an opening of the chest area to allow for more space internally to breathe. And take that life force, that prana that rides on the breath to every cell, through every layer of the body, every kosha. Eyes softly resting into that space between the base of the skull and the top of the spine. The lunar plexus, that quiet moon space. The front thighs drape heavily over the thigh bone. That allows for the middle buttocks to deepen a little more into the body. One more breath. Deep, full inhalation and pause. Long, smooth exhalation and pause. Bend up your legs. Rest here for a moment. Let the eyes come open if they've been closed. Take your hands to your top end of your bolster, stabilizing it. Slide off your bolster so the buttocks onto the floor. And just cross your legs, Sukhasana, over the bolster for a moment. Let your back, especially that lower back, settle into the mat. Cross your legs the other way. So we've been gradually working a little more deeply into our back bending. Take your chair. Viparita, dandasana, onto the chair. So, fold your sticky mat in four. Put your sticky mat onto the chair, backrest of the chair, facing towards the wall. Those of you with neck issues, I think a lot of you are used to this already. Those of you with neck issues, take your bolster and some support so that the back of the neck is supported and you more onto the back and the base of the skull. Don't tip your head so you up and shorten the neck. I'll demonstrate with that for a moment so that you can see. We're going to go in 3 stages. The first stage is going to be with the top of the shoulder blades here onto the edge of the chair. Then we'll pause and go to the middle shoulder blades, and then the final part of the pose will be the lower shoulder blades. So, sliding through your chair, you will find that leaning onto the top of the shoulder blades, the tailbone is off. So we need to work that upper buttocks. Feet apart, lengthen the upper buttocks, bring that middle buttocks, bring the tail into the body. So you can see already here, for those of you with neck issues, the back of the neck is long. As you go down, so you can remove your supports. But don't be for today on the top of your head. Back of the neck long so that the throat, the thyroid area is soft and quiet. For those of you that have no issues, you just remove all those props and you let the head hang. Upper buttocks long, tailbone in. Press your hands into the back rest of the chair to lengthen this upper buttocks. Breathe. Then from there, come to the middle shoulder blade. So some of you now, the base of the sacrum might be on, it might still be off, but keep that upper buttocks long, keep the middle buttocks in. Then from there, when you are ready, slide down. So now the base of the shoulder blades onto the chair. The upper buttocks, because of the sticky mat, has scrubbed along that sticky mat. Bring the middle buttocks in, tailbone in. Now, lifting those front thighs to the lower front ribs, stretch your legs away from you. So you might have to push your chair away. Heels away from you. If you're away from the wall, it's really not an issue. If you're at the wall, press your toes, your heels towards the wall. Thread your arms inside the back legs of the chair. Viparita dandasana. So once more, this elastic connection so that the abdomen is soft, resting back. No need to pump that abdomen up. That's when the aggression sets in. Let the head just hang. And breathe. Keep this area of the heart center, these lower front ribs, in other words, the thoracic diaphragm. Let it be soft, malleable, so that the breathing can easily take place, not just horizontally, but vertically this way. So it's as if as you breathe in, you want to lengthen here. As you pause, you want to let that soften. Like imagine you combing little tassels down towards your buttocks. And then as you breathe out, this sinks and softens back. So breathing in, ease up these lower front ribs, pause, and just comb these little tassels back and down. As you breathe out, let the abdomen sink back even more. So slow, soft, smooth, steady breathing. Heavy front thighs, draping over the thigh bone. Soft abdomen, spreading, malleable thoracic diaphragm. Back of the neck, long and soft. From that, if it's possible, reach the arms up and over your head and extending to the tip of the fingers. Shoulders broad, back of the neck long and soft. So don't tuck the head in. It creates hardness in the throat. Inner walls of the throat broad and open.
Let the firmness come in the legs and the arms. Three more breaths. Bring your arms up and over. Hold the backrest of the chair. Bend up your legs. Slide yourself a little further over, so your buttocks onto the chair. Now, from that support, make the head heavy. Let it keep hanging like a bell as you press down to come up. So the head completely passive. And come and sit back into your chair. Just sit for a moment. Let the spine be long. Take your right hand onto the backrest of the chair. Swing your left arm round. Keep the buttocks grounded. And just centrally lift the spine and gently turn. If it's possible, turn your head, gaze of the eyes onto the horizon line. From there, inhale, come up and turn to the right. Keeping especially this left buttocks grounded. When you keep this heavy, there's a lovely spread across the sacrum, so any tension that might have crept in can spread and ease. Come back to center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn to the left. Pause for a breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn to the right. Pause for a breath. Inhale, lift up. All the way to the left. Pause for a breath. Inhale, exhale, all the way to the right. And then from there, just rest your forearms onto the knees and round this middle back ever so subtly. This is your kidney band. And when we go into this back bend, it's very difficult to access the kidneys, but you can see here how it's almost like I have a capacity to squeeze the kidneys. Now I'm allowing them to just open. So bringing a bit of life into that space too. Release your head. And from there, come up. Tip your chair over. Open your sticky mat. We're going to continue to use the chair. So, sticky mat onto the floor and take your chair, backrest of the chair towards the wall and get a blanket. Take your blanket and put it over the backrest of the chair and come and sit. We're going to do a supported Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bird. So if I sit into my chair, I want to be a good arm's length away from the wall so you can see. And don't think the closer you are, the better it is. In fact, to the contrary. Put your feet, toes curled onto the mat and your feet onto the legs of the chair. And then from there, bring your tail into the body, lift your middle buttocks. Use your blanket to just slide to your lower back ribs and spread your arms. Let's just hang out here. Back of the neck long and soft. Spread your arms. Let them hang off the shoulders. Abdomen back. All that abdominal resting back, hip, rib connection. And then release and come to sitting down. So it's just a bit of getting used to going into that unknown. We'll never see our backs. So now it's just pretending that we can. And from there, once more, middle buttocks into the body. Roll off your shoulder blades onto the back ribs, keeping your arms straight. Create a big circle and bring your hand shoulder width onto the wall. Just be here. Middle buttocks into the body. Stand your feet into the chair and your hands into the wall. Abdomen back. Middle buttocks in. Breathe. You're just hanging out. So stage 1, stage 2, and then swing your arms round. So this big circle is a vital action. Keeping the arms straight. Don't bend the elbows to do this. That's what I say. Being a little further away actually is better in this pose. Not only is it better to keep the arms straight, but it'll also take your arms lower down, because the lower down you are, the closer you are to the earth. So from there, once more, press the heels down, lift the middle buttocks up, arms wide, those wings. Now straight arms, bring the arms up and over the shoulders, press the hands into the wall, the feet into the legs of the chair, and just bring your middle buttocks in, move your back ribs into the body. Can you slightly lighten off the chair? Don't come up, just slightly. Feel as if you're going to lift off that chair by pressing your hands down, your feet down. Breathe, be there. Back of the neck long and soft. And from there, release, come down. Come sitting, just sit into the chair. Breathe. Feel that positive energy, that life force coursing through the body. From there, sliding back into your chair, take your bricks, or you can take your 2 phones, but be high. If you need to be higher, you can even take your hands, turn around and take your hands to the wall. Feet parallel. Now, lengthen the front body, just like you did in that Uttanasana, right at the beginning of class. Lengthen your upper buttocks. Spread the sacrum. Make the front of the spine, the front body long, and walk your bricks forward. As you breathe in, lengthen. As you breathe out, can you broaden, spread, and open that lower back? As if there's a warm sun radiating in this sacred sacrum area. Breathe. Let the feet be planted into the earth. All 4 points of those Tadasana feet. Like firm mountains stabilizing you. Soften the inner groins. And then from there, walk your bricks back. Take them over your right foot. Turn the whole of your trunk to the right, keeping your left buttocks down. So it's not about how far we can go. It's keeping this left buttocks grounded. And then just easing forwards over that right knee. Spread, lengthen, widen that lower back. Breathe out through that lower back and press your left buttocks down. Walk your bricks back and now go over to the left. So it's pinning that right buttocks down so that it's more organically you can move the abdomen from right to left. But the buttocks, the bony structure, rooting heavily down. And from there, walk the bricks away, keeping space in the inner body. Breathe. And then come back to center. And if this is where you stay, well and good. Just relax the back of the neck. If you can bring the hands down, and then if you would like to, even take your hands into the back legs or the front legs of the chair. But the more deeply you sit into the chair, the more you'll be able to take the arms through. Now drop your head, round your back. We've finished our back bends. So allow this Ardha Mukha Virasana, or a variation of it, to be your counter pose. The more you pull and walk your hands down the legs of the chair, the more you lengthen your upper buttocks, the more you'll feel the spread in that lower back. The more the abdomen can rest into that space you've created. And then walk your hands forward, keep your head heavy, put your hands onto your thighs, curl your spine to come up, come standing up, move your chair, and take your bolster for today, crosswise on your mat for Shavasana. Lie down on your mat, feet onto your bolster, and lying back, just like you did in your Supta Virasana. Lengthen your upper buttocks and use your hands to physically spread the buttocks. So the whole of the lumbar, the sacrum, is resting into the floor. Grip your sticky mat, tuck your shoulders, your shoulder blades underneath you. So your thoracic spine is off the floor. Press your shoulders down and lengthen the back of your neck. Now let go your outer shoulder blades, your shoulders. Keep the spread of the collarbones so that the inner walls of the chest remain open. And then one by one, ease your legs away from you, letting the big toe melt to the little toe. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness, your focus, everything to your exhalation. And as you breathe out, extend your exhalation a little more, as if you're resting the navel deep into your mat and beyond. So long, slow, smooth exhalation, spreading the navel back, wide down. Pause at the end of the breath and then find, there's space for more. Breathe out that echo exhalation and then completely let go. When there's a need to breathe in, but just focus on lengthening, extending the exhalation. Pause, and then the echo exhalation, and rest there. Have as many of those exhalations as you feel you need. to completely let go the tension of the physical body, the mind, to come to rest in that corpse pose of Shavasana. Let go completely. From there, gradually lengthen and extend your inhalation, drawing that breath in. And as you spread that inhalation through the whole of the inner body, as if you're waking the body up, sigh the breath out. Deep, full inhalation. That new life force. And complete soft exhalation. Bend your elbows and place your hands onto your abdomen. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the palms as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Roll your legs towards each other and one by one. Draw up your legs so your feet on the bolster and your lumbar deep into the floor. Extend your right arm over your head and roll completely over. Check in on how the body, the mind, the breath feel now. As you press down to come sitting in Sukhasana. Bring your palms into Atmanjali Mudra. Easing upwards through the front of the spine, allowing it to be long and broad. Front body resting into that support of the stability, the strength of the back body. Bow your head to your heart, making your own inner acknowledgements. Gratitude for your practice, the sadhana of this instrument of your body that has the capacity, the ability to do, to support and hold you. Breath to feed you. The mind to guide you. Namaste.